When you start a new project, typically you need things like a domain name, hosting, things like that. When I choose hosting, I pick mine for the options it gives. I like to know what I'm getting and set things up just how I like them. This is why for your projects, you should check out Linode. Linode servers feature native SSD storage, a 40 gigabyte network, and Intel E5 processors. That's all the power you need to run VMs under full control, or Docker containers, who doesn't love that, encrypted disks, and VPNs. Plus, they have 10 data centers across the world and add-ons like backups, Node Balancer, and Longview to help you control your server costs. They also offer block storage for your static files, and you can get started with a $20 credit if you use the code JavaScriptJabber2018. That credit is good for 4 months on their 1 gigabyte server. That's a lot of time to try them out and see if they're the right fit for you. That code again is JavaScriptJabber2018. Also, if you're interested in working for Linode, they're hiring. Head to linode.com/careers to see their available positions. Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Adventures in Angular. This week on our panel, we have Alyssa Nicholl.
Hey, everybody. Glad to be here.
John Papa.
Hello.
I'm Charles Max Wood from devchat.tv, and this week we have a few special guests. We have Shmuela Jacobs. Or Jacob?
Hi there. Yeah, Jacobs.
Jacobs, okay. Bonnie Brennan.
Hello.
And Sam Rhodes.
Hi.
Now, you ladies are all here to talk about ngGirls. I had my first exposure to ngGirls at NG Atlanta, and Sam actually organized that. And it was funny because I talked to a few of the people who were in the workshop, and then I talked to Sam and found out that Sam is, 16? And,
yes.
And organized the ngGirls in Atlanta. And I was super impressed. I was like, okay, we got to talk about all this stuff because, first of all, ngGirls is super exciting, all the things that you folks are doing there. And then there's, somebody who's essentially a high school student that's out there teaching other people to code. I thought that was also exciting. So.
Yeah.
So did we.
So
that was actually a cute story because Shmuela, I don't want to tell that story because it's your story, but Shmuela was actually intending to do that herself, and she was the one who committed to it. And then something came up, and she couldn't make it, so she asked Sam to fill in, and Sam was pretty excited and honored that Shmuela asked. But I think it's a cute story, so I think Shmuela should tell you why she had to cancel on NG Atlanta because I thought it was adorable.
Yeah,
all right.
Why don't we hear that, and then let's kind of get the origin of ngGirls, if we can.
All right, awesome. So, yes, I've been organizing ngGirls workshops for over a year, and I really enjoy coming to the workshops whenever I can, and giving a lecture introduction to Angular and making sure everything goes like we plan. But this time I was expecting a baby. So he was born, I think, 3 weeks after NG Atlanta. So I couldn't fly out anywhere.
Congratulations.
So, thank you.
Isn't that the best excuse you've ever heard? I love that. So she has an NG baby. That's the cutest thing.
Yeah. It's the only reason in the world that I would miss, an ngGirls workshop or an Angular conference. That's
the best reason.
Yeah, the best reason that I could think of.
I was so excited for you when you told me about that because you're going to be you're already a good mom, I can tell. You're a good mom even before you had a baby. You're just such a sweetie.
Thanks. But it's really obvious how great mom you are because look how Sam is doing.
Aww.
Like she was.
I know you kind of set the bar for all of us.
It's the daily feedings, you guys. You see how terrified she is of me.
Sam was or still is the youngest mentor we've ever had in ngGirls. Yeah, she was the mentor a year ago at ngConf. And this time I asked her to help organizing and also to give the intro to Angular so that she will make she will be a role model for the participants to show them how even girls of her age are, are having fun with Angular.
When I got that message, I think I cried a little bit.
Yeah.
She was so excited. She was like, Mom, Shmuela asked me to run the workshop. And she was like jumping up and down. She was so excited. She was like, oh my goodness. She was very happy, Shmuela, when you asked her that.
Oh.
She was nervous, but she was happy. But she did such a good job.
Oh, I'm
that's
sure.
Awesome. So can we hear what ngGirls is and how it started?
Okay. So it's well, the main activity that we have at the moment is a one-day workshop that's free for the participants. And we have mentors who volunteer. So the participants follow a tutorial in Angular that's really basic, and they sit in groups and the mentors help them. So by the end of the day, they have a working application on the on the browser that they can even deploy it, and it's intended for beginners in programming. This can be like total beginners who really would like to try it out, or students, or maybe juniors. And of course, it's for women. But not only, we also try to target other underprivileged or communities or people. So this is the main thing that we have. And it started more than a year ago. The first event was in November 2016 in Israel, in my city, Tel Aviv. I got the idea from a workshop that I've been to, Django Girls, where it was basically the same thing. They had a tutorial ready for us that we followed, and we created our own blog application with Django. And we were sitting there with mentors. And I really liked the idea. It really gave me motivation to keep on with programming. And I also felt really there's a real support, and the people are so great and they help you. So I really loved this idea. And then a few years later, I kind of realized that we don't have this in Angular yet. And Angular is such a great platform to do this with, because in no time you have a running application using the Angular CLI. You can see everything, every change that you do, you can immediately see this on the screen. And so I really thought that this was best to start with. And being involved in the community and in meetups and stuff here in Israel, I just thought, hey, why not talk to some people and to some locations and try to organize this event. So I did this with the help of a few friends, and it was really amazing. It was a great experience. We had 45 participants and 15 mentors. It was so great. I felt so good about it. Like I could see everyone so concentrated in the code, in learning, and the mentors being so helpful. So I knew that it must keep going. So the second event was in Copenhagen as part of NG Vikings, and we've had more and more events since then, as part of conferences or independently if someone just wanted to organize one. For example, the last event that we had was in Pakistan, which is totally amazing, I think. I couldn't have been there, and neither could Robert, my teammate, or Ravital. So we just talked to the organizers, to Zainab, and that's her name, and she just organized it with the community over there. That's amazing. We saw the pictures, and it was really exciting to see this. So
That's
here
awesome.
we are now. Yeah. So here we are now. In next events, we have the next one at ngConf, like Bonnie and Sam said. And we already are planning another one in Mountain View right after Google I/O. So if you're there and want to help out, if you want to be a mentor, we'd love that.
And really, it's amazing to be a mentor because I mean, I really admire Shmuela because just to get this started from the ground up and get the momentum, like now we've all heard about ngGirls and it's a great thing, but it takes a lot to get something like that started and nobody's ever heard of this. So I really admire her for getting that momentum going. And now that ngGirls is a thing, it's so inspiring. Like these girls are so excited and they're so grateful and they're so fun that it's really fun to be a part of that. And Sam was bonding with her people, weren't you?
Yeah.
Are you still keeping in touch with your group from NG Atlanta?
Yeah, I had 3 girls in my group from NG Atlanta, and all 3 of them are now pursuing Angular as a career. And they all have job leads from...
Like for money. That's awesome.
Like for money, yes.
And that was only a few months ago.
Yeah, they all came in. Only some of them had Java experience, some of them had JavaScript experience, all of them had HTML experience, but none of them really had Angular experience. And now they're all pursuing jobs in Angular from ngGirls.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. Yeah. Thanks, Sam. This is what an ideal mentor is for me. Like you keep in touch with them and you keep on motivating them. That's really awesome. Really, thank you so much for that.
Go Sam.
Yeah.
It was them. I'm just a little helping step.
Little. She said little. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
So what does the curriculum look like?
I know that we're fed up with to-do lists, but that's what we're doing because it's the easiest thing, and it's like it gives you many options and teaches you a lot, many different aspects that you have in web applications. So you have the input and buttons, and you have dynamic content. So so this is what we do step by step with some exploration in the throughout the process, like try this, try that, try, for example, different things with the interpolation of the angular double curly braces, so just try out different things. And I must say that the tutorial was written also by volunteers. Like when I knew that I'm going to have the very first ngGirls workshop and that the tutorial is supposed to be something for the whole day, I knew I'm going to need some help with that. So I organized a meetup and I told the people who came there that the best way to learn Angular is to teach. And ask them to write the tutorial. Each one got a chapter to write, and they did it. So that's the tutorial that we have today.
That's so awesome.
And actually, so I reached out to my friends over at Angular Bootcamp, Bill Odom and Paul Spears, and just in time for ngConf, they are working on upgrading everything to the latest versions of Angular. So we'll have the same awesome curriculum, and it'll be the latest and greatest. And they're moving it to Stacklet. Really excited about.
Nice. We've had Paul on the show a couple of times, and Angular Bootcamp's a sponsor of the show. So,
well, then we really love them.
Yeah.
I mean, I already loved them before, but if they're sponsors, that's like extra love. They're so supportive. Even with when I started NG Houston, they've been there every step of the way. They have a lot of appearances on NG Houston as panelists, and they're awesome. They're such helpful people.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks. Angular Bootcamp. That's really great.
Yeah, they're really supportive.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I keep jumping in and asking questions. John or Alyssa, do you guys have questions? Or Joe just showed up?
I'm going to join in on my first ngGirls, this ngConf. And I was wondering if you guys have like a prep pack ahead of time so I can go through the tutorial and be ready for it, or how that works.
Are you on the mentor list?
Yes. I mean, I totally am flying out early so I can make it for it. So I hope so.
Let me check real quick and see.
I thought we talked about it. I'm sorry. Maybe
I think I did see your name on the mentor list, but I think you should get emails and stuff.
Okay. So I can go and double check those. I just didn't know if for other people who are also wanting to take part, is there like a way they can sign up, or how does that work, Bonnie?
What happens is they go on to Shmuela's website. I think, is it ngGirls.com, Shmuela?
That con for org, there's a direction to org.
Yeah, and then they would fill out that. So there's either, when you get to that website, you can just Google ngGirls, you'll find it. And then you get to that website and there's a link for attendees and a link for mentors. So basically, if you don't know Angular at all, you want to go in as an attendee. If you know Angular, even if you know a little bit of Angular, because we're not diving into crazy complicated stuff, right? It's just kind of a hello world beginner things. If you're a beginner, like Shmuela said, right, the best way to learn is teaching. And that was when I first asked Sam to fill in for me last year, because I was going to be a mentor. I was excited actually to be a mentor. And then the organizers asked me to help out with another workshop. So I sent Sam in my place, and she was just beginning at that time with Angular, but she did great. So I think it would be great for everybody who, even if they're beginners, to sign up as mentors. But to answer your question, Alyssa, I think you just go there and then click the link. Once you sign up as a mentor or an attendee for a specific conference, then you'll be on the email list, and then we'll send out emails periodically.
Are you ready to master Angular? Oasis Digital offers Angular Bootcamp, a 3-day intense workshop class for individuals or teams. They cover Angular 4 and 2 and focus on the skills and knowledge you need for complex, data-rich applications. They also still offer angular.js for teams supporting older projects. Bring them to your site or send developers to them in St. Louis, San Francisco, New York, DC, and other cities, and online at angularbootcamp.com.
Super cool. Do you encourage people to organize their own ngGirls as well?
Oh, yes, definitely. Whenever we get a request from someone who's willing to organize, then we immediately contact them and talk to them and send all the material and set up the website, anything that you need. So this way we've had, like I said, one in Pakistan just recently, and we've had in Brazil and Colombia and other places around the world where we didn't really have to be there. It just took off like without us. So it's really great. And on that note, I'd also like to mention Robert again, Robert Willemelis. I hope I pronounced that right. He's been doing a really great job helping me out with that, especially recently when I didn't have enough time to organize all the workshops because of the baby. And he's been talking to all the people who were organizing, and he's been really taking care of that, sending emails, giving the support, everything. And he'll also be coming to ngConf, and he's really putting a lot. Yeah, he's been
helping me so much with preparing ahead of ngConf. He's been helping me with things that I didn't even know I was supposed to be doing. He's just jumping in and sending out emails to participants and coordinating all the different details. That, like, he is amazing. He showed up at NG Atlanta and he was helping, but I didn't really know who he was because I didn't know him that well. And I was like, who is this guy? And I'm actually happy that you can't pronounce his last name, Shmuela, because I feel better because I have not even tried to. I don't know how to say it. But I love that guy. The more I get to know him, I don't know what I would do without him, because he's thinking of so many things that I don't know. And I'm going to see him at ngConf and give him a big hug, which I think is a code of conduct violation, but I'm doing it. Because he's been absolutely indispensable. He's amazing.
Yeah.
I'll distract Joe while you do that.
There you go. Hey. Don't look, Joe.
Yeah. And he's also doing things like on his own expense, like he's printing out banners and t-shirts and hoodies, and really giving everything, not only his time but also his money, printing out stickers, everything without anyone, like especially me, I never asked him to do this. Like he's doing it just because he loves that. He wants to do this. So that's really, I really love this guy.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know him, but I'm starting to love him too. He's a pretty lovable guy. He's such a big help.
Nice. So one thing that I'm curious about is if you're going to put on one of these workshops, you want people to show up, right? So how do you get the word out about an ngGirls event? Is this something you're leaving up to the ngConf organizers, or are you, as the mentors and people putting it on, doing some outreach as well?
Well, usually we do have support of the organizers of the conference. They're spreading out the word. So Bonnie and Joe, I guess you can be more specific about that for ngConf, right?
We have it on the page with all the other workshops. We have the listed with all of the pre-conference workshops, and we've also done some tweets, and we have a pretty good. I don't know exactly off the top of my head what that number is, but I think we were at what were we at last time we talked, Joe? 65?
65, yeah.
I think this is the most we've had. This is the biggest one yet, isn't it? That's what we're going for. We're trying to break a record here. I have 71 participants right now, and then we're up to 25 mentors and 71 participants. So we have about a 3-to-1. So we'll have 3 people per group, 3 students per mentor. So we have about 100 people, almost 100 people.
I think that a couple other ways that we gathered people was we did a really good Facebook post that was shared by a lot of locals in the Salt Lake area. We put something together there and just asked tons and tons and tons of people to reshare that out, to get it out to, because, if you tweet and what your ideal audience is people who are either not yet in the industry or just barely getting into the industry, kind of putting their toes in and haven't really done much, then Twitter is, whoever you're tweeting to is really, you're asking them to go out and talk to people that might be interested, because the people that might be interested are probably not watching the tweet. So we did that, and we also did a lot of outreach through local meetups as well, encouraging them to talk to people.
And we do have a lot of local people, I think. And Joe, you were in charge of that. So apparently you did a really good job on that local recruiting. Thank you.
I was surprised that we did as well as we did, because I felt like, I'm trying, but it doesn't seem like I'm getting much traffic. But then we actually got quite a few signups, so I'm happy, really happy.
I need to find the post so that I can share it, because I'm a local.
No, don't share it now, because it's closed. We're full.
Oh, is it closed?
Yeah.
Okay.
I get a question a lot about ngGirls about, for example, I've done a little bit of Angular, so is it still for me? Or like, how much experience, what would you say to somebody who's got a little bit of experience with Angular who wants to join ngGirls?
I would want that person to be a mentor, especially if it's a girl. Like, we have plenty of mentors. We have a lot of people sign up to be mentors, and I love that. And the mentors are amazing. And we have some really awesome people who know a lot about Angular. We had Pascal as a mentor, Pascal and Dominic from ThoughtRam back in Atlanta. They were amazing. We have some really good mentors, but also we really want girls as mentors. And if they're just starting out in Angular, that's fine, because those are sometimes the best mentors. I think when you're teaching and you've been doing this for a really long, like if you're on the Angular core team, obviously this is like super easy for you. But the people who just learned it recently, I think sometimes it's really even easier for them to relate to the students and kind of get that rapport. So if you're just getting into Angular, definitely sign up as a mentor.
Actually,
that's good to hear.
Pascal tweeted after this workshop that he was in NG Atlanta, right?
Yes.
Yes. So Pascal tweeted that he actually learned something new from the Angular to ngGirls tutorial.
That was so fun. He was fun. That awesome. Was actually Sam, because we needed a few more mentors, and somebody reached out to Sam. And Sam, I think it was when Shmuela asked Sam, and Sam started going to all the speakers at the conference and going, "Hey, we need mentors. Come on, you people!" And she's so little, but everyone obeys her. So next thing you know, we had all these amazing mentors come in because Sam went out and recruited them. I was like, "You go, girl."
Oh, Sam.
No one says no to Sam.
Yeah. That's really great. Yeah. So like Bonnie said, if someone already has some experience with Angular, then we would love to have them as mentors, because all you need to know is just a little bit. The tutorial is about just a simple binding, input and output, um, a button. We have a simple service, and that's it. So if you have even little experience or no experience in Angular, but you do know a little bit about coding and front end or web, then you can just do the tutorial. It's open source. It's on the web. You can access it freely, and um, then you learn. You learn by yourself everything you need to know for the workshop, and then you can be a mentor, because being a mentor is not only about knowing
Technical.
the technical, yeah, the API, the framework. It's more about setting an example of how a programmer works, and like if you don't know something, then you go in and look for it on the web, and you can always ask questions. And it's also for showing that programmers, developers are really, really nice, and it's a really fun thing to do. So that's more important than knowing the technical stuff.
Which I think really that's what I really love about ngGirls. And I think that's so much fun, because the whole point of this workshop is we're not trying to fill and there are some training. I know ThoughtRam and Angular Bootcamp, they're pretty intense training, right? They're giving you a whole lot of knowledge in a very short amount of time, and they're like shoving it all in your brain, which is good because that's what those people want. But with ngGirls, it's a little bit different, because it's just kind of a hello world. Like, we want them to go in there and do it themselves, because at least for me personally, when I first kind of started getting into development, it was really intimidating. Like, I didn't understand what any of that code meant. And I had this impression that all the programmers were just smarter than normal humans. You know, these people are geniuses and that's why they do it. And that's not the case, right? It's not that we're geniuses. It's that we've learned all this stuff over time. And the more you do it, the more you get comfortable with it. And I think that's really what ngGirls empowers. It's like empowering them to go in there and go ahead and do, the interpolation and get that data binding and watch it working. And then when they do that, invariably, they get so excited and they're like, oh, I got this. This is so easy. And then once they get that little bit of success, then they're hooked, right? And then it's like, oh, I can totally do this. And it just makes it so much easier for them to go and learn the next thing, because once they feel like they get it, then, there's a lot more to learn, but it's that aha moment that really happens in the workshop. And it's so much fun to watch because they get really excited.
They do. ngGirls is amazing. I have so much respect for ngGirls and Shmuela.
We love you, Shmuela. And I can hear the baby. I can hear the baby gooing, and it's so cute.
Yeah, he's here with me. Oh my God, I miss you guys so much. I really hope we can have an ngGirls workshop together soon. And
we're going to be in London. Or we're going to do Angular Connect.
Of course, but
yes.
it's going to be in November. What will be until then? I hope we'll have more opportunities.
Well, are you going to bring the baby?
Oh yeah, of course.
I want to hold the baby. I love babies.
It's an ng boy, by the way. I hope he can make it to the workshop, because he's an ng boy, not a girl.
Oh yeah, he'll be fine.
He'll be there. Yeah.
He's the ultimate noob, right? So he'll fit right in.
Someone younger than Sam.
There we go.
I don't like this. I am the youngest developer. My Twitter handle can never change.
Well, you won't always be the youngest, but you'll probably be the littlest. He'll outgrow you quick. Don't worry.
Hey.
She's gonna kill me, you guys.
Nice.
I love you, Sam.
Well, anything else we should cover here before we go to picks?
We've covered how awesome it is, right? We talked about that. We covered how awesome Shmuela is for doing it and putting it all together, right?
Thanks.
We covered how awesome Bonnie is and Sam are for making this actually happen at ngConf this year, right?
Yes,
Right.
and Joe Eames for putting it all together and making that happen. You were a connector there.
Totally doesn't count.
And Paul Spears and Bill Odom over at Angular Bootcamp have really been helping a lot. Robert, who I can't pronounce his last name, but I love him, has been helping like so much. So really, those three are pretty amazing. High on my list right now of awesome people.
So I'd also like to thank Joe again because last year in ngConf, it was like, I think the third or fourth time we were doing ngGirls workshop ever. And you just put faith in us, and you didn't really know what this is about, but you agreed to this, and it was really a great experience, and it has set up my baby. What do you want to say? It just opened the way to many more ngGirls workshops around the world. Really, thank you for that, and thank you for doing this again this year, and setting up the goal for having many more participants and taking care of everything together. Yeah.
And thank you, Shmuela, for starting this, because even when you're not here, you're here in spirit, and you're at every workshop, even if you're not. And it's such a rewarding thing to be a part of, to see these girls excited and to see them empowered is so much fun. I love being a part of it. So thank you for getting it started.
Yes, I agree with that.
Oh, well, you make me cry now.
It's the postpartum hormones. It's okay.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Well, it's really inspiring, and you should be very proud.
No, thank you.
Yep,
thank
absolutely.
you.
Yep.
Oh, thank you all for the wonderful words. I'm really excited about it. I don't know. I couldn't imagine this being so big and having so many people involved in it, and just organizing and putting themselves into this all around the world, and that's really amazing. Thank you so much. It just shows me again and again how awesome this community is. I really love you all.
We love you
that.
too.
Thanks.
Yep. All right, well, let's go ahead and do some picks. Do you run your own freelance business? Or maybe you're thinking about picking up some business on the side? Well, then you need FreshBooks. FreshBooks is the quickest and easiest way to get invoices out to your clients. It's easy to use. It works anywhere, available from any device, on the desktop, iPhone, iPad, Android, and all of your data is backed up and secure. And it makes it really easy to get organized and get paid. You'll be tracking time, logging expenses, and invoicing your clients in no time. You can also save time billing, freeing up several days per month to focus on the work that you love, and you get paid faster. FreshBooks customers are paid on average 5 days faster because there's a link on the invoice that says "Pay me now." And it's a great way to grow your business. Plus, FreshBooks is offering a 30-day trial. That's right, 30-day trial if you try them out. So go to gofreshbooks.com/devchat and enter devchat in the How Did You Hear About Us section. Once again, for a 30-day trial, go to gofreshbooks.com/devchat and enter devchat in the How Did You Hear About Us section. John, do you want to start us off with picks?
Sure. First, I want to just pile on and say how amazing Shmuela's been with creating this awesome feature for all the different people out there in the Angular world. And she's also just a wonderful person. I've had a chance to meet her a few times. She's just great. On top of that, my other pick is at ngConf. There is a hackathon on the night of Tuesday, April 17th. Plan on doing this at other events down the road if this one seems to be successful. This is being sponsored by Microsoft, my employer. It's called ngAI for artificial intelligence. It's a free hack event where we're inviting people to come in and you can learn some Angular, learn how to use AI on Azure, and just develop some really cool artificial intelligence apps. If it works out really well, then we'll do this at other events too.
let me jump in. It's not just free to the attendees; it's free to anybody who wants to show up. So, if you are interested, just show up at the date and time. And there are actually free tickets you can get on ngconf.org so that you can RSVP. But if you can't figure that out, just still show up at the Grand America Hotel in Salt Lake City. It's Tuesday night? It's on the schedule at ngconf.org. I think it's Tuesday night at 6 p.m., but it might be 7 or it might be 5. It's one of those. Show up, have fun.
6 or somewhere between 6 and 6:30.
Yeah.
I should know this, shouldn't I, Joe?
Probably. I should too.
Meet a lot of great people there too. Simona Coton will be there. She's also
I love her.
Girls. Brian Clark is on my team, has been helping organize this tremendously. Allison Krug, who's our event coordinator, has been putting it together. If you are not sure what AI is, but you have any interest, that's fine. I was in the same boat about a year ago, and it's so easy to use AI through Angular. I just think it's going to be great.
That sounds like fun.
Oh, I wish I could be there next time.
Yeah. Sounds amazing. All right, Alyssa, what are your picks?
My pick is the theme of ngConf, which is the Ready Player One movie. I just saw it and it was awesome. So I think I know they're going to have an event where everybody goes to see it. So I don't know if you want to save it for that or not. I personally couldn't. So definitely recommend Ready Player One.
Awesome. Joe, what are your picks?
I think we lost Joe.
Yeah, he must have clicked the hang up instead of the unmute.
I think he was frozen. He yawned and his video froze and it stayed like that. So I just grabbed a screenshot and I'm fixing to tweet it. He's going to kill me.
Me too.
You just took a screenshot of him yawning?
Yes, it's an amazing picture of Joe.
Joe, your video froze while you were yawning, and John and I both screenshotted it because we're apparently equally evil people.
Oh boy.
We're kindred spirits though, John. Bad people,
Awesome.
But kindred spirits.
That's okay. We don't have a code of conduct, so you can post it and do all the cyberbullying you want.
Joe has got me.
Poor Joe.
That wonderful prison guard comment that many people still ask me about at ngConf, where they think I worked at a prison. Thanks, Joe.
Didn't you? I'm just kidding.
Worked? No, he did not work at a prison. Well, I mean, out in the yard.
All right, Joe, what are your picks?
I got one pick, and that is a really great blog post by Free Code Camp called "The Best Programming Languages to Learn in 2018." Really cool blog post talking about a bunch of different. It's kind of breaking down some numbers from the Stack Overflow. They did a big survey, including salaries and stuff, and it talks about vitality, different languages. And surprise, surprise, the number one language that they picked is the best programming language to learn in 2018, JavaScript. So I thought that was really interesting. And it's a really interesting article as well. So that's my pick.
Awesome. I'm going to throw out a couple of picks. I guess just one today. I've been watching this show off and on. I've had a whole bunch of people recommend it. So I'm probably going to pick it and everybody's going to go like, yeah, it's a good show, Chuck. But I've been watching Black Mirror. And it's a Netflix original, kind of each episode's its own self-contained story of some dystopian part of the future where technology essentially ruins somebody's life. But it's really interesting. I mean, some of these I'm looking at it and I'm going, I don't know if that would ever come to fruition. But then I start thinking about some of the things we have out there that are like the technologies that they show us in the show. And I start thinking, man, we could go down that road a little ways, and it does get scary pretty fast. So anyway, it's interesting, kind of fun to watch. And in a lot of them, you're kind of going, what's going on here? What's going on here? And then it's like, oh, okay, I get it. So anyway, it's really, really well done. It's a British show. So a season is like 6 episodes, but pretty good. So I've been enjoying that.
You know what's scary is when real life starts to mimic Black Mirror. Like, this could be an episode.
Yeah, we won't talk about Cambridge Analytica or things like that.
I was going to say, don't get me started.
Yeah, well, and it's funny too, because a lot of these things get politicized, and a lot of them, I'm sitting here going, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. It's just freaking scary.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
That's a whole other episode.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, so that's my pick. Sam, what's your pick? What are your picks?
Well, I wasn't aware that we were going to be doing picks, so I'm coming up with something on the spot here. My pick is ngConf as a whole, because it was my very, very first Angular conference as an attendee ever. And now I am a speaker, and I'm really excited, and it's just really humbling, and I'm really, really excited to be part of ngConf. So ngConf as a whole is my pick because it's the best place in the whole world.
Woohoo! You're official now.
Nice. I second that.
Bonnie, what are your picks?
Well, can I have more than one pick?
Yes.
I have a couple picks, but I'll keep them short. Okay, so I want to pick. I want to throw out there a little library that's starting to take off. ngXS, which is a state management pattern library for Angular, which is kind of interesting. It's kind of new, and so I'm watching to see what's going to happen with that. And then I have actually two. Well, ngConf. I'm really excited about ngConf, obviously, but I have two things specifically that I wanted to shout out. And they're kind of related. There's a theme going on. Number one, there is a Dungeons and Dragons game. And I think Joe knows more about this. They played Dungeons and Dragons last year, and it was such a hit that they're bringing it back. And last year, I was not able to sit in. And this year, I am not going to miss it. So that shows you what an 80s nerd I am. And also, I'm pretty excited about Natasha Carleon. She's actually speaking at ngConf about reactive forms. But her talk is based around a D&D character sheet, which I thought was genius, and I'm just tickled about that. So I'm pretty excited about her. I don't think I've met her yet, but I'm pretty excited to meet her. And there are a bunch of other speakers that I'm super excited about. Mostly, I cannot wait to see what Word Bell's going to wear.
That's always fun, isn't it?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
But Peter Bacon-Darwin is going to be there too. Oh, that's the other thing I'm super excited. I can't believe I almost left that out. Pete Bacon-Darwin, Mike Brocky, and Shai Resnick all on the same stage. Like, I'm going to die of laughter. So yeah,
awesome.
Those are my picks.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. All right, Shmuela, what are your picks?
Yeah, well, first, I'm really glad that ngConf is going to be streaming live because I really want to see this. Shai Resnick and Brocky and everybody. Wow, that's gonna be great, crazy. So my picks are: if you're coming to ngConf, last time after the conference I went to Arches National Park. So if you're in the area and have an extra few days, I totally recommend that. It's a beautiful, amazing place to be, to do a 1 or 2 days hike or something like that. And it was both like a desert view with snow. It was really something that I don't know, out of this world. It was beautiful. A few more things that I wanted to recommend. The blog Angular in Depth, which is really going deep into Angular. So I've been reading posts from there recently and really learned a lot. And another thing is a Octotree. That's an extension, a Chrome extension for GitHub, which gives you the whole tree of the project on the side, so you can. It's just a file explorer. Like you can open the folders and get specifically into a file and see all the files there without having to do this one by one like you usually do in GitHub. I've seen it. I know that. Is John already? I just saw one of John's talk, I think from NG Atlanta, and I saw that he also uses this extension. So it's really useful. So just install it and your life will be much easier.
Awesome. Now, if people want to find out more about what you all have going on, where do people go to follow you on the internet? I'm thinking blog, Twitter, GitHub, that kind of stuff. Shmuela,
yeah,
my tongue's tied. Shmuela, do you want to start, and then we'll go in reverse order and have Bonnie and then Sam go?
Yeah, sure. So the ngGirls website is ng-girls.org, and you have all the information there, and you have the email address if you'd like to organize a workshop by yourself. The Twitter is very active, so it's ngGirls on Twitter, and you can find me on Shmuela J on Twitter. So I think that's good.
All right, Bonnie, where do people find you?
Oh, I'm everywhere these days. So they just made me an ngConf organizer, which I'm crazy excited about. So I will definitely be everywhere at ngConf. I'm also on Angular Air just about every week. I run NG Houston almost every Thursday, and you can find me on Twitter at Bonster75.
All right, Sam, where do people find your stuff?
I am on Twitter as the littlest dev, and I also am on Medium. I'm not sure what my name is on Medium, but it is linked to my Twitter. There's a link on my Twitter for that.
All right. Did your mom create your Twitter handle, the littlest dev?
No, she didn't, but she's the inspiration for it, like many other things in my life.
There you go.
Yep. And
Awesome.
Sam is also speaking at ngConf. She's doing a lightning talk on the main stage, I think on the first day. And then she's also doing a unit testing workshop with Keith Stewart on Thursday, on Fair Day.
Awesome.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be so fun. You're not going to want to miss it.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this one up. Thank you all for coming and talking to us about ngGirls. I just want to reiterate, we're releasing this one out of order as far as the order we record them in. So this comes out the week before ngConf. So if you're heading to ngConf, you have some idea that you can go and help out or somehow otherwise be involved with ngGirls.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thanks again for the whole ngConf team for letting this happen, for making this happen. Another ngGirls workshop over there in this amazing, really huge conference, Angular conference with this beautiful community. Thank you so much.
Bandwidth for this segment is provided by CacheFly, the world's fastest CDN. Deliver your content fast with CacheFly. Visit CacheFly.com to learn more.